Hello and welcome to AUC TV. This is Rana Nassef. This week, Kenya has begun a demography of its wildlife, beginning with Tsavo East National Park. In an effort to protect and save the wildlife animals, authorities are now counting the animals individually, from the air flying over the oldest and biggest parks in the country. The previous time, the same count took place. Almost 6,000 buffalo, about 300 giraffes, and over 11,000 elephants. But authorities predict they might be a lot less this time.
There has been a prolonged drought from last year. That drought, its manifestation in the wildlife is that we have seen a couple of mortalities. We've also seen rising incidences of livestock incursion. And this is again related to the same drought.
Tsavo East is one of the largest countries that they intend to count, and then Tanzania will follow. And of course, this requires money, skill, and effort.
Has contributed equivalent to $20,000 towards the census. That is for procurement of equipments, the cameras, the GPS-enabled cameras, and also the global positioning system, that is the GPS, and also on kind contribution. AWF has contributed time of their staff, 6 of them, and also a bus to ferry.
The 2-week census will cost around $200,000, but some charities are helping the government raise the money, and officials are hoping that Africa's animals are saved. Another news in New Zealand. Christchurch, a city in New Zealand, revealed a national memorial Wednesday to honor the 185 people who died due to an earthquake 6 years ago. Prime Minister Bill English joined other public figures to reveal the memorial wall on the anniversary of the 2011 quake. The victims' names have been written across a section of the wall. The victims' families traveled from other nations to New Zealand to attend the revealing. Designed by Slovenian architect Grega Vizjak, the memorial cost 11 million New Zealand dollars, 7.9 million US dollars, most of it paid by the government.
I was struck by walking along the wall today that it reminds you again of the scale of loss of life and injury and suffering, which we tend to forget as we've got on with the rebuilding of Christ.
The memorial is named Oi Manawa, which means the tremor of the heart in the country's indigenous Maori language. UNICEF's executive director on Tuesday said a new document released by the organization underscored its commitment to ending child recruitment. Speaking at a conference in Paris, delegates agreed that more resources are essential in order to protect children from war and help them build a future.
Today's outcome document underscores our commitment to do so. It calls for the unconditional release of all children without exception, and putting an end to child recruitment and use once and for all. It can be done. It calls for increased resources to find long-term reintegration programs that include education so these children can start building the future that they deserve.
The conference's organizers called for recovery of thousands of child soldiers from Sudan to Somalia and thousands of girls forced into wedlock by militants from Nigeria to Afghanistan. The conference's goal is also to encourage harsher prosecution of abusers and protection of hospitals and schools affected by conflict zones, such as in Syrian government airstrikes on Aleppo lately. President Abdel-Fattah al-Sisi has met with Kenyan counterpart Uhuru Kenyatta in Nairobi on Saturday during a one-day visit to the country for talks on strengthening future development projects between both countries. Both Kenya and Egypt have also agreed to increase bilateral trade to cement their historic ties that date back to the pre-colonial days.
السيدات والسادة، إن مصر حريصة على التشاور المستمر مع الجانب الكيني لتعزيز الاستقرار وتحقيق السلم والأمن في القارة الإفريقية بشكل عام والتنسيق في مختلف القضايا والإقليمية والدولية ذات الاهتمام المشترك. وقد استمعت اليوم من أخي الرئيس كينياتا لرؤيته حول تطورات الأوضاع في منطقة شرق إفريقيا والقرن الإفريقي، حيث اتفقنا على أهمية تكثيف الجهود معا والعمل على إعادة الاستقرار في هذا الجزء الهام من قارتنا الإفريقية، فضلا عن دعم جهود التنمية في دول حوض النيل لتحقيق أكبر استفادة من هذا الشريان الحيوي لجميع هذه الدول.
Kenyatta further promised to work with Egypt to pledge the violent ideology through sharing information, intelligence, and programs dedicated to protect the youth and focusing on the positives of Islam, while committing to water security of Nile Basin countries. Chicago witnessed a rare warm winter this year, with the highest temperature touching 21 degrees Celsius on Saturday afternoon, the highest in the past 100 years. The highest temperature reached 19 degrees Celsius on Friday afternoon, according to local weather department. Meteorologists say the city experienced similar temperature in 1880. While 7 ice rinks have been closed due to the warm weather, water sightseeing has become popular among locals and tourists.
Sightseeing is providing a tour every hour on the hour from 12 to 5 p.m. This is our first day of operating because of the warm weather in Chicago, February 17th. Usually March 11th or March 17th. So we're about on track for a month earlier than average.
Experts say the temperature in Chicago is abnormal this year. The city hasn't received its usual snow in the past 2 months. The dry weather will continue and is likely to break the record of days without effective snowfall in over 100 years. Malaysia's senior police officer announced on Sunday that there has been ongoing efforts to identify 4 suspects who left the country the same day the North Korean leader's brother died. Noor Rashid Ibrahim, Malaysia's deputy national police chief, announced in a new conference on Sunday that all 4 suspects have been identified. A 5th person, along with 2 more North Koreans who were not identified, is wanted by the government in association with Kim Nam's death.
And I can confirm today that they have left our country the very same day the incident happens.
4 people have been arrested, including a woman, a North Korean man, and the boyfriend of one of them. Thank you for watching AUC TV. This was Rana Nassef. See you next time.